Hello, everybody, and welcome to something I need to be doing again. The Season 8 patch notes were released by leakers on duty. They do have a Twitter, I think. I can't remember where I found this. But, anyways, I thought I'd do this just because of the fact that there's all kinds of buffs that I really don't like. So let's just go over them, and I'll talk about the buffs I think were unnecessary and the buffs that were needed. And to start things off, we have the swordfish. The only thing the swordfish really needed was slightly better ADS time. Because that thing's slow. And a nerf to the halberd mag. But none of those things happened. Because it gets an improvement to its ADS. Wait, no, my bad. It did get, I was thinking of bullet spread. It did get the improvement to ADS speed, which was needed. But they decreased the burst delay, which will not make it feel like a burst anymore. It will make it feel more like an automatic. Because the swordfish went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then not really a second, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm not sure how much they delayed the burst time, but it was less than a second of cycling. And that just means the halberd, not just the halberd, the swordfish might be meta this season. Improved hip fire, which wasn't needed. Then we have Odin. This one is not bad. It needs range, so buffing the range is a nice touch. But improved recoil. I didn't think it needed that. See, if you just put a steady stock and it strikes in the strike 4 grip, that thing was easy to control. So I just think you can literally just have the steady stock, and that thing will still beam. The AK-47 did not need this buff. It's already a guaranteed 3 to 4 tap. And if this will be applied to Battle Royale, even though it says multiplayer balances. But most of the buffs that are here apply to Battle Royale as well. The AK didn't need this, unless they make it where it's a guaranteed 3 tap unless out of range. Which, then it's like, why? That makes no sense. The AK-24, the flinch was really the only thing that was a bit wonky. You'd have the steady stock, and you would be flinching like you didn't. So that was needed. It didn't need a damage buff or damage multiplier buff. It was good enough on its own, but I think that just makes it where it's guaranteed to be a 4 tap on the body. The Chigon was desperately needed, as the Chigon was the only weapon that can't 1 burst. So maybe with this buff, it can finally 1 burst like every other burst weapon in the game. But at the same time, it's an SMG, but it's meant for close range. And then the PPSH, that was needed. You had to get weird builds going for a mix of control and ADS, just to control the horizontal recoil. And since that's fixed, that's not really going to be an issue anymore, which is wonderful. In the QXR, after its nerf a while back, a few seasons back, no one's been using it. It's like a 4 to 5 tap guarantee. And if you were to make it where it fires faster, it's a guaranteed 5 tap. So this improved damage would definitely bring some help back to the gun to guarantee a 4 tap for base. Maybe keep the 5 tap for the extra fire rate. MX9, this one was so unnecessary. The MX9 was a 3 tap meta machine. That was nerfed to be a 4 tap with a strafing speed, which balanced the gun so well. So since it now has this improved damage, I don't know what's going to be now. That's the scary thing. And now we're moving over to the HG40, which I main the HG40. I love the HG40. Well, just like how I made the Chicken. But the HG40 definitely needed some range. Damage multiplier wasn't needed, except to the head. You'd be getting the same headshot damage as body damage. So maybe that's what they did. Improved range was for sure needed. The range on it was decent, but it's an SMG. It's supposed to have like a little bit of latency, and seeing the type of SMG it is mainly focused on range. So this will definitely keep it more like how it's supposed to be. So I definitely do think these buffs are needed. If the multiplier is more than just the head, then it's unnecessary. But next we have the chopper. I say all of this was absolutely needed. It was one of the worst LMGs, and I do think it can compete for the top 3 now. Improved damage, improved range, and improve the bullet spread accuracy. If you use a heavy handle, the bullet spread isn't needed, but the range and the damage was necessary for a chainsaw. But since now that's what we got, it's going to be a guaranteed 4-tab with much better range. Instead of just pecking someone for like 14 damage, like only like half the distance away. Because the chopper has like one of the best ranges, it just deals like no damage once you get past it. Oh, the KRM, the most unnecessary buffs I've ever seen for a shotgun. Oh gosh. Improved damage, range, and hip fire accuracy. The HS-11 was one of the most broken shotguns we had in Battle Royale. It was balanced in multiplayer, but I definitely think we're going to have a shotgun meta this season, going with the Swordfish, the AK, and the KRM. Ugh. That's going to be nasty. Now we have the Pharaoh, which has improved recoil. I'm not sure if that was needed. I don't use the Pharaoh a lot. Never use it a lot in Black Ops 3 anyways. But reducing the range was unnecessary. For a 4-cycle burst weapon, the range was like good for how it is. But reducing it, I'm not sure how it's going to be now. Then now down to the Jack 12. I hated when I saw this the first time. They reduced the damage multiplier and reduced the range. There's a thing in the game called Shotgun RNG. Not sure if I talked about this before. And it's mainly for the auto and burst shotguns. They don't have a random chance to do like non-lethal damage in close range. Or if you're like in medium to close range, you can do high to low damage. The Jack 12 was the most RNG shotgun with like I think 48 fire rate. So doing this just makes it more liable to the shotgun RNG. I think it really ruined its one-tap potential. Like, for sure. So that was just fully unnecessary. Trigger system having an improved radius, I did think that's necessary. Because I think it's only like 15 meters. I think they'll buff it at 20 meters, which would be perfect. I just wish they made it work into destroy up to 3 items instead of just 2. And have it where you can target the sparrow arrow, since it can destroy... If it can destroy a black hole, it can destroy an arrow. or like an exploding arrow. Flashbang. This is one of the most unnecessary things I've ever seen for a lethal, or like lethal tactical equipment. Improved radius and improved effect duration. Flashbangs. Sorry for all yawning. Sorry for all the yawning, though. Flashbangs were some of the most annoying things. Just because if automatically forces you to hit fire, and you can't see anything for a good time. And now since it's getting buffed, it's only going to be so much worse. But now we have one more patch page to go over. And I don't like, there's only like 2 things I like on here. And I'll let you know when I get to it. The Echo Nade, it needed the improved radius. For how small it scanned, it was useless. So that was necessary. Gravity spikes, I feel like this is unnecessary. Because the gravity spikes were already one of the fastest charging things in the game. And you even got an extra like 10% per kill with the gravity spikes. So if you killed like 4 people after using it, it's already back up to 40%. So do you think this was unnecessary? Contact Nade. The only thing I feel like that's unnecessary here is the improved damage. The threat speed was needed, it threw so slow. Damage isn't necessary as it can kill anyone with flank jacket if it's close or direct hit. An improved radius, you're basically just going to be throwing a hand-thrown grenade launcher shot at this point. The claw. Okay. This was completely necessary. Which means there's 3 things on here that were necessary to buff and nerf. The claw shoots 3 bullets that can bounce off anything like 3-4 times. And the damage drop off was crazy. Because each bullet dealt 16 to 18 damage, but when it ricocheted, it went to 8 damage. So making it where it deals full damage was needed, but I feel like that makes it a bit too strong now. But it's definitely better than dealing 8 damage off of ricochet, because then it makes it impossible to kill someone. So I'm like mixed on this. I do think this was necessary. I'm just mixed about the results. Molotov, improved duration. That is one of the biggest mistakes I've ever seen in a patch notes for lethal and tactical items. Molotov is so much worse than a flashbang in my opinion. Because if you don't have flank jacket and you get hit full on, you ain't living. And since they made it where it lasts longer, it's just a thermite now, but with a more area of effect. Reactor core. This was so needed for someone that uses it, and no one really did. This was completely needed, as on Nuketown, you can stand in the middle upstairs and clear the entire house, and even damage people like partly outside. So reducing this was needed, and reducing the charge time. I don't think that was necessary. It did take a while to charge. But if you ran overclock or overwork, whatever that perk is called, yes, I could see why they would want to nerf it. Because I saw one person run overclock with the reactor core, and they were popping that off like every 6 kills instead of like every 8 kills. Again, that much early is a lot. Thermite, decreased duration and radius. that thing is just useless now. And some of the better skins for like lethal items were on the thermite. But seeing this, because the thermite was a good tool just to throw out a door to keep people off you. But now it's going to be so useless to get anything off you. You're better off using Molotov due to the increased duration. Flash drone, decrease radius. I agree. If it means radius as like how far you can throw it, yes, that was needed. You can throw that up to 30 meters away. I feel you should only be able to throw that at least 20. But if we're talking about like reduced radius where it blinds you, then that was unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. And then concussion nade, decrease radius and duration. I feel like that was needed, but it's a concussion nade. So you get full on by this thing, you're supposed to be deoriented for a while. So it made sense. I just think they made the concussion aid like useless now, like the thermite. But that's the patch notes and my opinions on it. I definitely do stick with what I'm saying, that the swordfish, the AK, and the KRM are going to be the meta weapons coming next season. Anyways, this was Mixed Dark with the patch notes, and I will see y'all next time.